Good afternoon, Badass Artists. I'm Yelo Yando. Back today, we're going to work on a darker skin tone in our Ladies of Loradale book. We've been working on some crazy stuff lately. We've been working on making our own pan pastels. We've been working on backgrounds and all kinds of stuff. But today, I've had a bunch of requests for this particular portrait. Now, she's not a dark skin tone, and she's not a light skin tone. She's somewhere in the middle. I'm calling her a mocha latte. So I thought we would go ahead and work on her today just to, we'll get started. There's a lot going on with her. We've got some really cute curls. We've got some really cute jewelry, some really nice reflective tones. I don't want to do the entire picture. We've got some other stuff. I haven't forgotten our other portrait we were working on. All we have left is her little dress, and we're gonna take care of that probably this weekend. We'll finish her up. I just want to work on maybe, obviously her skin. That's the request. Everybody was like, do her, show us how to do her skin. Absolutely. But I thought, let's work on her little jewelry, and and her eyes are cute, and she's got some of those cute little glossy lips. So let's work on her for a few minutes. Just kind of jump off to on the side. You know how I am. I like to jump around a little bit, and I appreciate you guys accommodating me on that. Before I jump into this too far, I have a nasty bruise on my on my hand and arm, and I don't want you guys to panic when you see it. There it is. I had a procedure on Monday. It required an IV, and I don't really think maybe the girl had ever done an IV before, but it didn't hurt. It just looks really ugly, so I didn't want you guys to panic and go, oh my gosh, what happened? And I appreciate it. You guys are so sweet. You're always checking up on me, but that's the deal. I'm fine, and that's what happened. It was just a wayward kind of a, it was a bad IV experience. So I'm going to use the Faber Castell. This is just the black edition. I kind of use this a lot, and I think in the next one, I'm going to use the Crayola Colors of the World. They have really good pencils for dark skin tones, and I'm going to switch books in the next one too. We'll probably go back to Puddletown, or we'll either be in Puddletown or Twilight Aeronauts. So that's just a heads up for you guys too. I'm going to use the black edition and also the skin tones. They just have really good colors for darker skin tones. And since we're working on this pretty mocha color, I thought we would just use those since we already have them out. I have them out a lot. I don't really put them away. So here we are, Faber Castell, number 805. And let me just kind of zoom in here. We're going to start with this darker tone, and I'm going to go in here and just sort of work in around her temple area. And I know it looks a lot darker, but that's okay. This is probably going to be the deepest color, and I say it a lot, choose the deepest shade that you want and go ahead and get those shadows in there. That way, as you're blending and you're putting other colors in, you don't get too dark. You don't get away from yourself. And that's a problem that I used to have when I started with portraits. I would start with the wrong color, and I would end up getting too dark or too light. And when I start with the darkest shade, I usually keep myself, like I said, out of trouble that way. I know I don't want to go any darker than that, and that's the creamiest tone of her face. So from there, I'm working forward. I have the habit, that's why I enjoy darker grayscale, and that's why when I started doing my own coloring books, I was like, yes, because I have the habit of working from dark to light anyway. My mind kind of works backwards like that. So I'm just kind of working around these darker shadows, the deepest little spots where the light's just not showing, the light's not getting there, so it's going to be the darkest parts. I'm just adding this color. It's kind of a, I would call it a mocha, like a dark coffee. Just going to add this in. And I'm really glad to know. Thank you guys for letting me know what you want to see. And I know that darker skin tones can be really, you know, they can feel intimidating, but don't let them. Darker skin tones are some of the prettiest once you get the hang of it. And there's so many different shades, and it's when you see those dark colors going down on the paper, you're kind of like, oh, did I do too much? Did I really mess it up? No. And if you did, we've got erasers and we've got pencils that are lighter. This is dark grayscale. Remember, lighter pencils work better as you're trying to highlight. So there's a lot of options if you feel like you go in too dark. Just relax, enjoy the process. We'll get through this. We'll learn together. I'm so proud I didn't forget her ear. I'm famous for that. I'll get through the entire thing and there's her ear. But for those of you who were with me for the pan pastel tutorial, I actually videoed that earlier, and they're still drying. I keep going in there and looking at them. It's like the watch pot that never boils. I'm so impatient, and I keep trying them, like sticking my finger in them to see if how dry they are. Yeah, and but so far, I'm very optimistic about them. I think we might be on to something. I'm hoping anyway. And by the time you guys see this video, that video should already be posted. So if you're interested in following along on that crazy experiment and adventure, be my guest. It's definitely messy. It's a messy experiment, but fun. I'm just kind of going all the way around her face. And this is a fun little portrait. I really like this one. I'm glad you guys did too. It's always nice to know what you want to see next. Let me move you over a little. And I really like this shade. I use it a lot. It's one of my favorites for, kind of a medium to darker skin tone because it's a really good, shadowy color. I'm just using a light hand, small circles. The smaller circles can help you blend other colors in a little more effortlessly and kind of go together a little more seamlessly. If you've been watching the channel for a while, you kind of know my philosophy on small, soft circles. And this is where we are right now. I think I'm going to darken up this area too. As a rule, I like to make the eye area a little bit darker, and that's just a style thing. You don't have to. I would definitely call this more of a Latina or mixed skin tone. It's not super dark. It's just somewhere in the middle. So, you know, they're portraits of all sorts and learning different skin tones. If you're going to do a lot of portraits, like that's how I built. That's what I did for 30 years is portraits. So, you know, learning the different ways to put colors together to make everything look real. Skin is my favorite. Skin tones are my favorite. I'm sure you guys have figured that out by now. I think we're almost there. Okay, I'm going to grab, what am I going to grab? I'm sorry, I'm bouncing you guys around. This is from the Skin Tones, and it is number 783. And I'm going to try it. Make sure this is what I'm after. Yes. I'm just going to... It's very close, but this has got it's a little bit lighter and a little bit pinker. And we're just going to move that right into the back. And just sort of overlap that into that darker color. When you're blending, you just go right into the color behind it, right over top of it, and that helps to merge the two colors together. It makes the blending a bit more seamless. Trying to find a spot where you guys can, there we go, that's a good spot where you can see. And just nice and easy, soft tan. And the Faber Castell flesh tones are only about, well, there's 12 pencils in the pack, and they were on sale for $6.99 last week, but I think they've gone back to their regular price of about, I don't know, $12, but I'll put the link in the description below. But they're very affordable, and they've got some really good colors. They're very, I say it a lot, I like skin tone sets that are, I want all of the colors to be believable and usable. You know, sometimes you get a skin tone set and there's a green or a magenta, and I'm like, really? And, you know, I've never seen magenta skin, and I've never really used it to mix the skin tone, so I get kind of annoyed when I receive skin tone sets that have unrealistic colors. I want something that I can also use in brunette hair, or auburn hair, or wood bark, or, you know, I want something that I can use in other places, not just in skin tones. So I want it to be a busy bee. I want it to be a hard worker, and not just something that's going to sit and wait for me to use it in a skin tone. I guess I'm kind of demanding from my pencil, so. And I'm just kind of filling in this little spot on her ears. She's coming together very nicely. It was the perfect one to do today. Now, if you want her to be darker or a bit lighter, obviously that's absolutely fine. It's up to each one of you. These are just the colors that I chose, and every every pencil set has something kind of similar to these, so it should be easy if you don't have this set to choose some colors that are similar. add some color to her cheeks. Give her a little blush. This is number 787. I'm just going to go right in here with the top of her cheek. And remember, when you're adding color or blush, if you're trying to look natural, if you want it to look like just a sun-kissed look, you would add the color where you would get a sunburn. It's where the sun would actually hit the face if you were out in the sun. Now, since these are little whimsical portraits, you can exaggerate that, obviously. But if you're going for something that's a bit more realistic, that's the rule. Add the color where the sun would strike the face. Just give her a little touch of blush. Give her a little pink to her cheeks. And as a general rule, well, let me add some color up here too. It's just a bit of warmth that kind of pulls it together. And you don't have to do this, it's just what I tend to do. I usually start the base color of the lips, especially if I'm going for a more natural lip or a natural look. I will use the base blush color for the base color of the lips. And there we are, kind of a mocha latte skin tone. So definitely a mid-tone. We're not doing a black skin tone. It's not quite that dark. Definitely more of a mixed or a Latino look. So if you were wondering about it and you were one of the ones that wrote in and said, hey, let's do this one, there we are. I hope this has been helpful. I will see you guys next time.